This is Straight Good, just Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
They have. Here we go.
I'm Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
I hope savior of basketball has won.
Well, the Dortcher Chamber has been going pretty well.
I'm Aaron Wiggins, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mark Dagnall, and I'm down to dunk.
He just does a big smile and
I feel blessed by God to be here with down to dunk, be here with you.
I'm Alex Caruso, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
Oh, jeez. Are you going to sing it good enough for me to guess it, or?
Panhandle. Jeez. I'm tweaking.
Name 2 famous Oklahomans.
Myself and Jalen Williams.
Is that a crazy answer?
All my friends call me Bob.
Where's Rachel?
Unique story. He lived a whole life.
Plain?
Plain.
This is Cason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
True blood Oklahoma.
That's right.
Pretty exciting, if you ask me.
This is J-Dub, world champion J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk. And eat burgers.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht, part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before I get to my good friend Alex Speers, I want to tell you about 2 other friends of mine, Aaron and Drew Reese of Shelter Insurance. Give them a call. Give them a text. You can do it today. 405-773-5500 for Aaron's office and 405-478-7714 for Drew. Are you in Zerd? Listen, if you need home insurance, car insurance, boat, hot air balloon. I don't know. Can you guys do hot air balloon? Let me know. I don't know if anybody needs hot air balloon insurance, but these are the guys for it. They're good guys, and they love the Thunder too. And I'm sure that they have the same excitement about Jared McCain that you do. So give them a call or text today and support the people that support Down to Dunk. With me on a Wednesday morning is my good friend Alex Speers. Alex, what's up?
What's up, Andrew? Big Bulls win.
Big Bulls win. A Bulls team that is barely recognizable.
I know.
I've watched them a couple times since the trade deadline, and it is one of the weirder experiences because it is just so weird. Like Colin Sexton is like a Bull, and he's doing so much. There's just so much Colin Sexton as a Bull, which is good because isn't his nickname something Bull, right?
Young Bull, I think.
Young Bull? Yeah, I think that's right. Anyways, it's a weird watch. Yeah, Young Bull. It is a weird watch. It's good to see the Thunder take care of business. You know, no Shea, no J-Dub, no AJ, which is a phrase that we just say all the time now. But the Thunder this is kind of like a ho-hum. They took care of business. They, did what they were supposed to do, kind of win.
Yeah, the Bulls, I had that same experience. And it's not just who is on the court. It's like how long they're on the court. Like, Yabusele played 29 minutes.
I know.
Leonard Miller, blast from the past. I loved him in the draft. 21
a couple
minutes.
Threes. He looked, all right.
Getting to see Dillingham, who really does look like a child at points, how small he is. He is so small on the court.
It is jarring how small he is. Yes.
Yeah. And then, at the end of the game, that big white guy, never seen him in my life. That was a new person to me. Lachlan Olbrich.
You've not been just combing through Lachlan Olbrich tape.
Yeah, I did not know who that was. That was new to me. He has a very funny picture. His main picture on on ESPN because he has a mustache and his hair is parted in the middle.
Okay, hold on. I got to put this on YouTube. This is unreal. Oh my gosh. He looks like a Lachlan Olbrich in this picture.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're a very weird team right now. And also strange. Like Modest only got 20 minutes last night. Who other than Josh Giddey, right? He's oh, he did? He did?
Yeah, I think he did.
I watched that whole. When did he leave? Yeah, look at.
I don't know. We got a little Lachlan Olbrich here on the stream. It is. He's just not ready for that picture. He's just straight up not ready for it.
That's a
poor
great
guy.
Shot.
Yeah, he got hurt. So, which is a bummer because it's like one of the only things really outside of Giddy that you're excited about. Because you look at all the other names on here, like I guess you're excited to see Dillingham play, but man, Dilly, I just don't know if it's going to work for him. Like if you can't, be productive in minutes like this, I just don't know. I mean, it didn't look good. I mean, there's a reason Minnesota was like ready to cut bait on him, but boy, it is rough.
And we'll talk about
really
McCain,
rough.
but there was several possessions where McCain was matched up on Dillingham and was just going at him. And
roasting.
I just don't
roasting
know what the path forward is there for Dillingham.
Yeah. And to give up the draft assets that they did to get him is just like even more of just a bummer, and I know that I think they corrected and got like a good player in return. They could just still have Dillingham on their team in the Wolves, and that would not be great. And so but man, like them missing out, like what if the Wolves had taken Modest, or what if the Wolves had taken McCain?
Yeah,
because I know it would have felt rich for McCain at 8 certainly, but teams at 10, 11, 12 were thinking about McCain. Like he was somebody in that range. And he's good. Jared McCain, really good. I cannot overstate like how impressive it is for him to arrive in OKC, for him to play this well on a team that he's had like little to no experience with. One, it speaks to like the strength of the Thunder and the strength of the coaching staff, but I think it more speaks to just the type of player that he is. I mean, he's played 11 games for the Thunder, and he's been really good. 12.5 points per game in these 11 games. I would have never, if you would have told me, okay, what are his averages? Been like, I don't know, like 4 points a game. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think he's going to be that good. He's really good. And he hasn't even like really gotten to practice with them. He hasn't really gotten a chance to do a whole lot like with the team, other than just like, hey, we're playing these games, we're doing shoot arounds, we're going to work you through film. Yeah, it's kind of wild what we're seeing from him. He had 20 points yesterday against Chicago. Really,
he's kind of the player that, coming out of last year's playoffs, we were talking about how if you could have one more type of player, a player like that. And I think early in the season, we felt like we had found that with AJ. And in a lot of ways, I think we did. Like, I think AJ is an awesome player, and he's going to be huge once he can get back. But the difference with McCain versus AJ, one, AJ is a much better defender, but McCain's like aggressiveness at hunting threes. The only other player they have like that is Isaiah Joe. In fact, I looked it up on StatHead. Just like over the last 2 years, how many times has a player played 25 minutes or fewer and attempted 9 threes? And it's like in the last 2 years, it's 16 times, which I'm sure is pretty low across the league, because it's not like that's that crazy of a stat, And the majority of those are Isaiah Joe. His willingness, I mean, the clearest example was that pull-up transition 3.
Yeah.
Like, there just aren't that many players in recent Thunder history who would have even thought to take that shot. Much less like been confident to take that shot. And I don't know. I don't remember at that point, because I know he missed his first 3 threes, and then I think he hit 3 in a row. Yeah, his aggressiveness hunting the threes and doing it, it's obviously like he's not just he can be a catch and shoot 3-pointer, but the off ball movement is just huge. I mean, you think about all the times in the playoffs, the lineups that got bogged down. Watching Jared McCain, like it's hard to imagine the team getting that bogged down again if he's on the court, just because it seems like he's able to generate something when he's out there every time. Even if he misses, the looks they're getting when he's on the court are really good.
Yeah.
Are Are you there?
And I mean, like to emphasize like the threes, there was one guy averaging double-digit 3-point attempts per 100 possessions on the Thunder. It was Isaiah Joe. That was it.
Yeah.
Now they added another one in Jared McCain, who's averaging 11.2 to Isaiah Joe's 13.5. But also, he's averaging Isaiah Joe per 100 possessions is only averaging 3 2-point attempts to where McCain's is 11.5. So he's not just like some, and we know this, like if you watch these games, like we can see him getting to the floater. We can see him getting to that mid-range shot. We can see him doing all these other things. He's a different kind of scorer for them that can just, like you said, get you something. And in a game like this, where you have your 3 main creators out, which I feel like we've had to say so many times, you have iHeart out, who's like your 4th creator, essentially. Like this isn't a guaranteed win for them. You know, this is not something that is just, you can just bank it that they're going to win this game, because there are times where Isaiah Joe doesn't have it going. Aaron Wiggins has basically not had it going. He had a pretty good game yesterday. Cason Wallace continues to be good, but there's like no guarantee that guy's going to score points. Just to have a guy that can come in off the bench in 25 minutes, score 20 points, like that's like in games like this where you're trying to maintain the number 1 seed, it's pretty incredible just to have that guy coming off the bench, because that was Oose's spot. Oose was not going to come in this game and score 20 points. It was just
if we had let him, Andrew, we'd given him a chance.
The thing about Oose is I think he just thrives in non-pressure environments. And I think playing on a championship team is really hard for somebody like him.
How dare you?
Okay.
You're just completely dismissing the G League championship. What is higher pressure than that? And he showed up. Yeah,
he did. And he whooped the Thunder when he came to town. He was awesome.
I think what you're getting at, though, is like comparing him to some of the other players on the team. Like we've been talking about how good Cason has been lately. The difference between a guy who's like developing as a scorer versus a guy who's just like an obvious natural born scorer. Like,
yeah,
it's just the ease at which McCain gets to his spots and gets his shots compared to some of the other guys on the roster who are still very good. But you watch McCain and it's like, okay, he'll eventually have some games where he's just missing everything. That's going to happen. But I don't think we're going to have the games where he just like disappears, where you see him only take like 2 or 3 shot attempts in his minutes. I don't think that's ever going to happen, which that does happen with some of the other guys on the roster. He just like, it's instant offense. Even the Bulls announcers were talking about it. Like, as he was missing his like first 3 threes, they were still like, you got to get out on this guy. You got to get out on this guy. And then he starts like drilling everything, and they were freaking out. He is, I don't know. This it feels huge. One thing I will say is, thinking ahead to the playoffs, I'm very interested to see who they decide to pair him with as far as a big man, because it worked last night against the Bulls. He played a lot of minutes with J. Will, and J. Will had an awesome game. He was 17, 16, and 6.
I mean,
crazy stat line. And those 6 assists, I mean, there was a half-court pass to Isaiah Joe. There was like a behind-the-back pass to McCain. There were some very flashy assists in there. He had a huge game. And that is who they've played, like, just looking at big men, that is who he has played the most with. I don't know if these stats are updated for last night's game, but Jared McCain with J. Will and no Chet or iHeart on the court, 86 minutes. It's this. I don't know if this factors in last night's game because they were so good, but it's been a -12 net rating, and it's been because of the defense. The defense has had 123 net rating. Now it's super low minutes, so it's probably like one stretch that was really bad defensively. But if you were thinking about who you're going to pair him up with in the playoffs, you could imagine that lineup being poor defensively. Like if you pair up McCain with J. Will. Now he's the second most minutes he's played would be with the starting lineup, big men. So with Chet and iHeart. And then he's played a few minutes with just iHeart. And then the only thing they haven't really done a lot yet is McCain with Chet in like the Chet at the 5 lineup, which I think long term, like PvP stats says it's only been 7 minutes. I think there's might have been some minutes last night. But long term, like when you start thinking about a death lineup, I would think it would be something like Shea, Dub, Chet, and then McCain, and maybe like Kaysen.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you do think about like, hey, there's some decisions this team is going to have to make, yada, yada. The fact that you've got this guy on a rookie scale deal for another 2 years is kind of crazy that you get to build this out, you know? And AJ needs to be considered in that too. You know, I think that, you know, the NBA, like so much of it is what have you done for me lately kind of thing. But, you know, AJ is going to come back, and even pairing AJ, who is a good defender, who's like become a really good defender, pairing him with McCain too will help.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's crazy to talk about this team, how excited we are. Still haven't seen Dub in a long time. Still haven't seen AJ in a long time. I mean, those are massive pieces for the offense. And to see some of these bench units be so successful, and largely because of McCain's offensive spark that he's bringing, it's just very exciting. I mean, if this team is 100% healthy in the playoffs, it is going to look so much different from last season.
Yeah. I mean, adding...
It would have to.
Yeah, I mean, adding 2 guys to that squad in AJ and McCain that are just little offensive engines that they need. They needed it badly throughout the playoffs. I mean, Alex Caruso, who's a great player and who I think is going to continue to be really important for them, you know, had to be like their third creator.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that they have 2 other guys, plus like the improvements from Isaiah Joe, which I hope we see it in the playoffs, because he's just been so much better. Even yesterday, I mean, how many points did he get just off of cuts?
Well, I was going to say, so what I thought was so interesting about his stat line is he scores 19 points and only has 2 threes.
Yeah.
I was like, that can't have happened before. And it hasn't. He's had 29 career games where he's scored 19 plus points. It's the first time he's done that when he's only had 2 threes. I mean, it's always been on a lot of threes.
It feels right. It's weird. It is unusual, you know, for him to, but he was, and part of the problem is like this Bulls defense is just woefully bad, where it's like you do one cut and like you're right there. You're right at the basket. It happened for McCain. It happened for Isaiah Joe a couple times. Yeah.
This could have been, to be clear, like this could have gone really bad, because I looked it up and the Bulls shot 4 of 17 from the corners, gave up 17 corner 3-point attempts.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
And, you know, if that's just decent, if they shoot just like 8 of 17, this game would have been really dangerous, because this was another bad shooting night for the Thunder overall. I mean, McCain was good, but they are now, over the last 2 seasons, including playoffs, 14-4 in games where they shoot 25% or worse from 3.
Okay.
And you look at the games of that they lost. There was a game in December. Oh, a game in December. It was the first Spurs game.
I was gonna say, that doesn't sound. I think I know the one you're about to say.
Yeah, it was the first game against the Spurs. It was the third game against the Spurs on Christmas Day. It was a game in late January against the Warriors, and then a game against Minnesota.
Yeah,
in February.
Well, and it just kind of reemphasizes just that their style of play, how hard they play, gives them just a margin for error that most teams don't have.
Yeah,
you know.
They should not have won a lot of those games, a lot of those 14 games that they won.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of teams wouldn't have. But yeah, I mean, thinking about the playoffs, like you mentioned Caruso, I feel the same way about. I mean, we'll see what happens after his recent jump, but like with Kaysen, Wiggins, Dort, like they just have so many of these players that we all know can have a big offensive night, but you never feel like you can count on it, especially going into a playoff game.
Yeah.
You know, like when Kaysen all of a sudden would get hot in a playoff game, it just felt like found money. It was like, oh my gosh, we needed someone to do this. Thank God that Kaysen stepped up.
Yeah, and there were several games where he had the 3-ball going, and then there's games where he has like 4 points.
Yeah,
you know,
and that is the huge difference with both McCain and AJ. It feels like if those guys are just healthy and playing, you're not going to experience that as much because there's going to be real creators on the court. I mean, McCain's creation, I just wasn't expecting it based on the way Philly fans who love Jared McCain, but the way they were talking about how different he looked this season compared to last season. I honestly was expecting like a guy who's going to take a lot of threes and bring some real like off-ball movement, 3-point shooting to this team. That was like my baseline expectation. Yeah. I wasn't really thinking too much about him being like the 4th or 5th best creator on this team.
Yeah. I mean, his numbers, I read them on Friday, but like he was 38% from the field in Philly. He's 48% from the field in OKC.
Yeah.
He's up 6 percentage points from 3 up to 43%. He's basically doubled his scoring average in OKC. And a lot of it is, and I've seen a lot of Philly people kind of outline this, is like they weren't running anything for McCain.
Yeah.
Like he was he had to create like just something out of nothing, or it was catch and shoot. And like that was about it. And the way that the Thunder offense runs, he has just thrived in it. And it has accentuated his game right away. And he's only 21 years old, like he just turned 21. It's just bizarre. Or he just turned 22. My bad. Just turned 22. But the fact that we have this guy in his early 20s, he's got 2 years left on his rookie scale deal in a time where the Thunder are going to have to make some decisions. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I really did not think we'd be talking. And some of this is born out of like, they've needed somebody to step up. They've needed guys to step up, with Shea and Dub out. And the fact that they've given him a chance to, and it's worked, is great. Because we've seen trade deadline stuff not go great. They traded for Gordon Hayward. Go back and listen to all of our embarrassing takes on the Gordon Hayward trade. We thought he would be a perfect fit. And you know what? It seemed like it on paper. Big forward that can pass and shoot past dribble. He like does all the things that you'd want a Thunder player to do. Blah, 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 blah. Did nothing, and he just pouted, for 3
thinking
months.
About Hayward, they're obviously like very different players, but that kind of role on the team, I thought it would be like something like we're seeing from Jared McCain, where it's like someone who can come off the bench and just like steady the offense, be a creator, be a source of consistent points. I remember thinking that's what Gordon Hayward was going to bring.
Yeah.
Because I believe he was averaging 15 points per game.
I know.
Coming in, but whatever. Happy retirement. Yes. But yeah, and because of his rookie scale deal, as we start thinking about this summer, like McCain's just a lock. Like you don't even have to think about it. Like he's going to be on this team for a while. Same with AJ. Like some of these guys who are on these, the fact that they will be paying, I forget what the combined number is going to be for AJ and McCain.
It's like $8 million or something.
Yeah, $8 million for at least the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's just not fair. That's just honestly not fair. Yeah, I think it's $8 million this year, and then his final year, he'll be up to almost 7, so it'll be closer to 10.
Yeah,
in 2 years, but yeah.
For all the talk about the roster crunch and avoiding the second apron and all this other stuff, having those two guys on the roster and just not having to worry about it worry about that aspect of it.
Well, we have two guys that are ready for bigger roles.
Yeah, which I think it will make it easier on the Thunder this summer.
Yeah.
Knowing they're going to have to move on from someone.
Yes.
And it'll make it way easier knowing that you have AJ and McCain, who are going to be, they're very different players than the players that would have to move on. This team might not be the historically great defense, if they have to move on from some of these defenders. But I think they're going to be such a more dynamic team in the future.
Yeah.
A dynamic offense.
Yeah, that's the thing. And with Shea's passing improvement too, that's happened this year. To me, it's a pivot that I think that they don't have to fully make, because I think they'll find a way to keep Kaysen, and you'll still have AC here, and you have guys that have improved as defenders. We honestly just don't even know. I think the playoffs, and I think people that are jumping the gun on knowing who is going to be gone, I think the playoffs will tell a lot of what's going to happen, moving forward. I think that will be a sign. And the fact AJ Mitchell, it's hard to find a defensive metric that doesn't like him.
Yeah.
The deflections that he causes, how much stronger he's gotten. Now they just need him to play, which has been an issue his first 2 years. But as long as that guy's playing, there are a lot of defensive metrics that really like him. And it passes the eye test too. So I think it will be interesting. Okay. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll continue to talk about the Thunder and the standings and the teams that are around them. We'll be right back. And we're back after that quick break. I want to tell you about my friends over at Bob Moore Kia. If you were out at Fuzzy's the other night, so were our friends over at Bob Moore Kia. Some of you guys have hats, which I need to send you a hat, down to dunk hat.
Yeah.
Made by our friends over at Bob Moore Kia. It was great. We had the 2027 Telluride out front. People got to sit in it, check it out. We sold T-shirts out of the back of it. We popped the trunk and sold Down to Dunk shirts out of the back of the Telluride, which was very fun. It was a very fun event. Really grateful for everybody at Bob Moore Kia and at Fuzzy's for taking care of that. It's a great night. Right now, you can go get the Kia Seltos for $297 a month for 48 months. You can also get the Kia K4, $155 a month for 24 months. You can also go test drive the Kia Carnival. If you are even thinking about a minivan, or maybe you're a family that has several kids and you don't have a minivan, you're like, I don't know that I'm a minivan family. That's kind of where we were before we started driving the Carnival. And it is great. It is great. Okay. Go test drive one today. Tell them that Down to Dunk sent you and support the people that support Down to Dunk. So, Al, the Thunder are hanging on to the number 1 seed. Winning games is good. They play the New York Knicks tonight at MSG. Good thing that both the Knicks and the Thunder are on the second night of a back-to-back. The Knicks played Toronto last night in what was a close game through the fourth quarter. And so Towns played almost 30 minutes. OG played 27. Brunson played 37 minutes yesterday. McHale 32. So as we know, the Raptors, this was on the road. So road home back-to-back for the Knicks, road back-to-back for the Thunder, obviously. But the Knicks are playing pretty well as of late. So this should be an interesting matchup. I would guess they'll release the injury report later today, but I assume Shea and Hart will be back tonight. I don't know that J-Dub is playing tonight, but I think he's close to playing. I know that they still really want to manage that injury, but I I think that he's getting closer. I don't really know what game to target for him to come back, but should be relatively soon for him. They do play the Warriors on Saturday night here in OKC. That's on ESPN. So yeah, should be really fascinating to see them play the New York Knicks tonight. Players love to play at MSG, and so it'll be fun to see who lights it up tonight.
Yeah, this next stretch, I mean, this is the best stretch of the Thunder season. I mean, this, and which is why if you can get at least one of J-Dub or AJ back, that would be so much fun, because the Knicks, Warriors, and all of these are nationally televised. Denver, Boston, Minnesota. And what I love about this stretch, 4 of those 5 games are at home after they play the Knicks. And none of them are on a back-to-back. In fact, all of them are on a lot of them are multiple days rest.
Yeah.
Which
they get 2 days rest before Boston, 2 days rest before they play Minnesota.
Yeah.
So,
and that's huge. I mean, they're going to be, I'm assuming they'll fly back after the Knicks game. So they'll be home from at least March 5th all the way to the 15th. So we should get to see the best version of the regular season Thunder based on who they're able to put out on the court. And so we know Shea will be there. Ihar will be there. These could be some really awesome games.
Yeah. Denver, Boston, and Minnesota is a pretty crazy 3-game stretch. And it is in the span of almost a full week. It's 6 days, so.
No, that would, nice. If we had gotten them on Wheel of Fandom for that week, that's about as good as it gets.
That would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Instead, we got them week after All-Star break.
Yes, we did. The Denver matchup will just be interesting to see if there's a full-scale brawl. I don't really, they're just such a mess right now. And I refuse to freak out about them until I know that Aaron Gordon isn't playing again. As long as he's back, and Peyton Watson's injury wasn't nearly as serious, but if they're getting those guys back, I still am very high on Denver. So I'm not going to take a ton away from another regular season matchup. But the Boston game is super interesting, and then the Minnesota game, because of just how they've played them this year. I've said those Minnesota games have been miserable. I have not enjoyed them one bit. And they have had their number this regular season, clearly coming off that 5-game playoff series. So that is one I'm very interested in, because Minnesota plays so differently. I mean, Minnesota should be so much better than they are. When you and McKelly were talking about time missed from injury, you look at all these teams ahead of them in the standings. Why are they not the 2 seed? They're certainly talented enough to be the 2 seed, and it's because they lose all these stupid games. But Denver is struggling. They are missing key pieces throughout this entire season, and Minnesota's got a 1-game lead on them. Minnesota's had the fewest injuries. They've had the best health in the NBA. How are they not able to take better advantage of this? I mean, they're finally feels like they're getting it together because they've won 4 in a row, but it just feels like there was a missed opportunity here this season where they could have really cemented themselves at the top of the Western Conference. And maybe it'll still happen. Maybe this run will continue, but I just can't. I can never fully buy in to the Wolves.
They just go through these dumb stretches. They lost 5 in a row in mid-January, where it was Houston, San Antonio, which is you know what, that's fine. Then they lose to Utah, Chicago, and Golden State.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What is happening here? And then they go. I mean, they are a roller coaster of a team, which I think, looking at the makeup of their roster with guys like Randall and those guys have been roller coasters throughout their whole careers. It's not really surprising. But yeah, they're a weird team. I think they're really good. I think this is a really good team that I don't think is a threat to go to the finals. Like, I just think that that's kind of who they are. Like, I think that they're certainly a threat to get back to the West Finals again, just depending on the matchups and how it all breaks down. Like right now, it would be Denver, Minnesota 4-5. Like, would it be crazy? I mean, I if it settled that way, would it be crazy for Minnesota to beat Denver?
No, of course
I don't
not.
think it would be crazy. They match up. They match up pretty well with them, and especially if Gordon's not 100% or if he can't go. You know, like that's not a crazy out.
As crazy as it sounds, like if Jokic is playing like this, you know, Jokic has been fine, but
yeah,
we all remember earlier in the season, who was it? Stan Van Gundy saying like he's the MVP and it's not close. And as mad as that made us, and we did disagree with it, the fact was like Jokic was having an historically great statistical season to start off with. Yeah. And he has fallen off so much after coming back from injury, still putting up incredible stat lines, like still an awesome player. But, you know, his three ball's not falling. He just, I mean, I don't know if you watched that Utah game.
I watched.
Game was absurd.
A freaking abomination to basketball, what it was. God, for all the ethical talk coming out of Denver, it is so funny that was like one of the next games that they played, because you could put together like a Shaqtin' a Fool style reel of just Jokic in that game.
Yeah, and
it was unbelievable.
And it was on a night where there were like no good games. At least that's the way it looked going into it. Yeah. And so it did bring more attention to that game than it might have otherwise on like a full Wednesday night or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was the goofiest game to watch because Jamal Murray was incredible. But yeah, Jokic and of course Denver fans will say like, well, look how Utah was playing them. Like they're just beating them up. And it's like, this is how teams are going to play them.
Yeah. This is like, if you watched any big men throughout the history of the league, like this is how it goes. When you have a big man that receives the basketball, like go watch any game that Shaquille O'Neal played. Like that's how you have to play these guys, because you have to be super physical with them, and you can't be a crybaby about it. You just can't. Somebody left a 1-star review on Down to Dunk on Apple.
Yeah. Not
even saying that they don't like our show, but just commenting that they essentially don't like the Thunder because they're a Nuggets fan. It's like the pettiness and the jealousy that exists between the Nuggets fans and OKC is so weird. People are just getting so weird.
Well, I think, I mean, this happened to Sixers fans too. Like, because of the Embiid, Jokic MVP races, like those got really ugly.
Yeah.
They got ugly like nationally too, but also between those fan bases. I mean, there was like real hatred there. And so that is now shifted to the Thunder and Nuggets. And, you know, I think there's a lot of factors at play.
Yeah.
You know, Jokic stans definitely exist and they're just different from some other player stans. Yep. And so I don't know. Like I said, I love that this is such a good rivalry, and I really do think it's great for the league. You know, I hope that they make it to play each other in the playoffs. But yeah, Jokic. I mean, it's crazy to say like Jokic's next step because he's like such a great player. But if teams are going to play him like this, his next step is like figuring out how to counter it in a way that isn't like trying to flop on multiple plays, because he's just such a bad flopper. That's the problem. If he was a good flopper, he could get away with some of this, and he's been getting to the line more this season than ever before, but it could be even more so. It's just some of his flops are so bad. They're so obvious.
And here's the thing about it, he's just floppy anyways. Just like the way he moves.
Yeah, he's like a floppy guy.
Looks like a flop, you know, looks like so it's when he adds extra to it, you notice.
But it does feel like this style of defense gets him out of his game. And it's why, like, the conversation we were having last week or in the emergency pod, and I know a lot of Thunder fans feel this way, is like, well, why isn't he getting called for so much of this stuff that he's doing? But I truly believe that, like, I think that's fine. Like that's because what the alternative is a more closely called game, which I don't think Thunder fans want that. The Thunder are going to thrive in games where they let them play and they're physical and they're not calling every little thing, whether that be a ticky-tack foul or whether that be a flop. So I'm fine with it because I do think that this is getting him out of his game.
Yeah, I agree. And it's going to eventually he's going to get called, like, whenever he was on Keontae George's back, you know, it's like that's kind of stuff will be reviewed by the officials.
Imagine if that was Rob Dillingham.
Dude, he would be
he'd be squashed.
He'd be done.
He'd be gone.
He would have been just completely it would have been like a cartoon where he's just like this pancake on the ground.
Yeah, he comes up and he's like on Jokic's chest like after Jokic stands up.
Yeah. So Thunder play tonight in New York against the Knicks. Should be a fun one. If you like to listen to the NBA Daily, our guy Fred Katz will be on the NBA Daily tomorrow morning discussing that game. So be sure to listen to that. Before we go, I do want to share something. I don't not excited to share this, but I do want to be transparent with the audience, and there will be times where I won't be on this show moving forward. This week my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we're still trying to figure out next steps and things like that. But I just wanted to be transparent with the audience just because you guys have been a great support to my family and to me and to my wife. And I'm really grateful to you guys. You know, we don't have this show, we don't have this platform without the listeners. And so I recognize that. And I have a ton of gratitude for all of you. And, you know, we got to interact with a lot of you guys on Sunday night at Fuzzy's, and that was really fun. And I don't take that for granted at all. But if you just pray for her, pray for me, pray for strength for all of us, for my boys too, who are, you know, having a hard time with it as well. So if you'll just keep us in your prayers, that would mean a lot to us. Anyways, I don't really know what else to say except for, you know, it's going to be a long road for her and for us as a family. And so still trying to figure out a lot of different things. There's a lot of waiting involved with it. But, you know, Al will step in. And as we know, when I was on vacation earlier this year, an Al solo pod might be one of the best pods that we ever do anyways. So we'll probably be getting more of that. And the other guys will step in as well. So, but with that said, I will try to be on here every time I can, because it is certainly like a refuge for me and something that I enjoy doing, and it is really fun for me to do. So I'll be on here as much as I can. So hopefully it won't be too often that I'm absent, but you may notice that. So, yeah, Rylan, the D Elite One, Rylan Rye Guy will be around as well. So
yes,
the Alex Rye Guy
he's in the wings.
Also,
we have told Andrew, anytime you need extra time, anytime you just want to be around your family, we got it. We have a roster of folks.
We do have a roster.
We could bring in.
That's right. So, again, thank you guys for the support. Really appreciate you guys immensely. So, hope everybody's doing great, and we will talk to you guys again on Friday.
Until to die, until to die.